What's up, you guys? Welcome back. This is another review, and for TV shows, I'm gonna try and film two episodes of TV shows into one. So, by the judge the title, you guys can see that we're gonna be doing CW's The Flash because the final episode airs this week, and the next season comes out next month, June 1st on Netflix. So, I need to get caught up. So. If you read the comics, you know that Barry Allen's fastest man alive got struck by lightning because of the particle accelerator explosion, and that's how he gets his speed, and he's like the fastest man alive. So episode one opens up about how they talk about Barry's mom passes. So Barry Allen's mom passes away because a yellow blur came into her house one night and she died. And the dad got sent to prison, got sent to Iron Heights prison, and he's being framed for the mother's death. So that's how like the show opens up. It kind of opens up with like the story about like how the mom died and the dad got framed, and everybody thinks Barry's freaking out of his mind and crazy because he tells the police that it wasn't my dad, it was a man in the yellow suit, a yellow blur. So we talked about how the show is coming to an end and its current season's at 9. This week, I believe Wednesday or Monday is going to be the final episode of this series. So I'm trying to watch the whole series. I'm kind of refreshing my brain, which is why we're going to be doing this review series. Episode 1 is called The Plot. And we're going to talk about how the villains exists in this show in a little bit, but so Barry got his powers by the explosion of the particle accelerator, which is some kind of big scientific machine thing. The whole idea of the particle accelerator explosion was for, I mean, like it's like their dream to make that because if that thing went online, it means that like you can change how we think about physics, how the world works, like in the science industry. But somehow the particle accelerator exploded, and there was a big explosion that caused Barry Allen and a bunch of other. And maybe I would say maybe 50% of the 50% of Central City into metahumans because we don't know how many there are. So Barry and Iris go to Star Labs to watch the accelerator go online, and eventually he got knocked out for trying to save Iris. To get Iris's purse back. And so, I would like to know after the mom passed away, the dad went to jail for being framed. One of the cops, Joe West, and the daughter, Iris, kind of took Barry in until the dad gets out of prison or they figure out what's going on. So, so after Barry got struck by lightning, he was in a coma for 9 months, and the I would say Dr. Wells is Dr. Wells, the owner of Star Labs and everything, and his crew came to the hospital and said, well, they have to take him to Star Labs and save him because he would go into cardiac arrest and it'll make the town's power go all crazy because of the lightning bolt and all that. So we talk about how Barry gets knocked out he gets knocked out during the explosion. So wait. Yeah, so they're at Star Labs. Somebody steals Iris's purse. Next thing you know, the guy beats him up. He goes back to his office to work, and next thing you know, he gets hit with lightning and all of that. and he wakes up 9 months later to find Iris dating Joe's new partner, and Joe's new partner, who is Eddie Thawne. One second. Who is Eddie Thawne, and I think he's the one that found Barry. Could be wrong. We talked about how Barry's dad got framed for that, and so when he wakes up in Star Labs, you have Dr. Wells, the owner of Star Labs. You got his other two employees, Cisco Ramon and Dr. Caitlin Snow. They are kind of his doctors who are taking care of him because the actual doctors can't take care of him. Oh, keep like that. And so when Barry got his powers, lots of people in Central City got powers also. This guy was supposedly died in a plane crash. I think his name was Claire Martin or something. Martin, I mean, no wait, Clay. I mean, I think it was Clayton Martin or something like that. But he supposedly died in a plane crash. And just like Barry has the power of the fastest. I mean, like Barry has the power speed. This guy has weather powers, and Cisco likes to give him names. So his was either Multiplex or Captain Clone. Yes, and I remember. So yeah, he died too. So when Barry went into a coma, and after he got hit with the lightning bolt, lots of other people got powers too, and they called them metahumans. And and Barry tells Joe, "I know who did this. It's the guy who died in that plane crash, but he's not there." Joe doesn't believe him, just like how just how like Barry tells Joe and everybody that that dad didn't hurt his mom and he got framed. So eventually, once Joe finds out that Barry has speed, then he believes him. So that was the end of episode 1 of The Flash, and that was the pilot. So we on to the second episode, and second episode of season 1 is called The Fastest Man Alive. It opens up with Cisco and Barry trying to help people across the town. I mean, in the city, and it's kind of like Cisco is the eyes and ears, and Barry's kind of the legs trying to save people. And it opens up to this guy who can make clones of himself, and and he was robbing a gun store or something, and I guess he was trying to get revenge on his boss stole his research in science. He was trying to use to save his wife. Can I see what it is? Hmm. So yeah, and Dr. Wells and Caitlin didn't know that Cisco and Barry were doing that. Snow was scared because that's what happened to her fiance. Her fiance died also. Barry tried to run around and save everybody. Turns out Barry needs to consume 850 calories. I mean, he has to consume the calories of 850 tacos or burritos. That's why he keeps passing out, is because his glucose level is low, because he's a speedster and he needs to eat that much. And we're introduced to this new metahuman. He can make clones of himself. He's either Captain Clone. No wait, actually, so yeah, Captain Clone or Multiplex. as the calm was in episode 1. The guy in number 1 didn't have a name. Barry didn't tell Joe that he was working with Star Labs. Joe got angry, met the other scientists, defeated the army. Joe believed him, and then we ended on episode 2. I'll see you soon for episode 3 and 4.